Hey, welcome back to the Vault of Cult listeners. It's me, your host Chris, with my co-host
Mark. You alright?
I'm alright, are you alright?
I'm pretty alright.
I hope your listeners out there are alright. You've had a good Christmas and a good New Year.
Yeah.
And 2022's been kind already.
Yeah. Basically, we haven't been around for a good long while.
Where have we been?
Where have we been? We had the plague.
We had the plague.
I
give it Mark.
Yeah.
We had that there COVID.
Yes, we had to go. We had all the COVIDs.
All of
riddled with COVID. We were
riddled,
top to bottom, full of COVID,
inside out.
Yeah. So
100% positive.
Yeah.
Call the doctor.
I'm positive. I was positive.
Yeah. 100%. I took 2 lateral blows.
So yeah, we haven't been around because of that, and then of course we had the Christmas. Merriment, such as it is, of the festive periods.
Yes.
And then
New Year, and then we
then we just come the arse week after. week after.
We needed a break.
And so we're back.
We're back. Hello. We're back. But only in the interim. But we're still here.
Yeah.
The Vault of Cult will be back bigger and stronger for season 2 very soon.
Where we've got lots of marvellous things.
To talk about and review. So we're not kind of discussing anything in particular today. We've not got a specific film, but
no, you're just here to hear us witter, really.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just the films we've sort of watched or had thoughts about.
Recent new films, that because we've only ever discussed like films not of the present or the very recent past.
And you might think that's because you do culty films, and you're exactly right,
100%.
listener. You're exactly right. But we wanted to talk about some newer stuff.
Let's get our thoughts out there on the new stuff.
We're just talking about some newer stuff that we watched.
So, guys, welcome back. This is kind of a bridge episode between season 1 and season 2, and we just wanted to get together, get back in the swing of it.
Basically, we've put you in an holding pattern, just like stick with us.
Yeah, we're still here. We still exist. So, guys, let's get on with the show, Mark.
Let's.
Here we go. So, start us off, Mark. Start us off. Where are we starting? What film are we going for now?
I think we've got to talk about, because I watched it and I went to pictures to go watch it. I think we have to talk top at box office as it is anyway at the moment. It's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Come on.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, right? I really enjoyed it.
You did, because you text me, was like, I've just went to see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Banging.
Yeah, really enjoy it. I did really enjoy it. Basically, being in isolation all week, and that what day I were let out. We were let out on Boxing Day, and I were like,
Head's gone mental, I'm having it.
Boxing Day, I'm going pictures. Why? Because I want to go out. So I went to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. Right, first off, what I'd like to say is it's an enjoyable film. It's harmless. It's not harmless. I think it's got things to say.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot, but things to say. I've got
things to say.
Yeah, and I came out of it pleased. I came out of the film a lot happier than I went into the film. I enjoyed myself, and I think when you're watching a film, I think one thing that you've always got to bear in mind, because you can pick holes and ruin things for yourself.
Yeah. Did
you come out of that film, having watched it for the first time, smiling and think, I watched a film and I had a good time watching a film? And I did. I'd like to say that right from the off.
Okay.
I came out of the film quite happy. Go on.
I got the impression that you really enjoyed it.
I did really.
By the messages you were sending me and the conversation we had, and the back and forth, because I said to you, I've read a few things, I've seen a few bits and bobs online, and going on about how many Spider-Men are in it, and this, that, and the other, villains and stuff, and I was, and I even said to you at the time, I'm reserving my judgment, and I enjoyed the last two, Homecoming and Far From Home. I did enjoy them, and Tom Holland's a decent Spider-Man for me.
I think I enjoyed, for a start, I enjoyed Tom Holland.
Yeah.
He's a good Spider-Man, and I think, for one thing, he looks authentically like a teenager.
Yeah.
He's not, but he looks authentic.
Yeah.
Where I always thought Tobey Maguire, he's Spider-Man, and I'm like, you look like a lad in your 20s. Yeah. You are a lad in your 20s, and you look like it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't buy the high school... his look at work, so I thought it was quite refreshing to have a very young-looking Spider-Man, and that's what he is, and that's what he's always been. But I tell you what I liked about it. I did actually like that it was a remember this film. Hey, do you remember Tobey Maguire?
Oh, spoilers, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
let's get the spoilers out.
There are spoilers. If you haven't seen it,
and we're going to spoil it for you. Yeah. Because basically, the plot line is everyone knows Spider-Man's real identity, which is Peter Parker. So he goes to Doctor Strange and he says, "Can you reverse this so no one knows my real identity?" And in doing this spell, he rips open the multiverse. And previous villains from the original Sam Raimi trilogy come into...
I mean, for a start, they're wonderful. Well, third one isn't wonderful, but I think the Spider-Man trilogy, the first two of that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man...
Green Goblin, Doc Ock are in this one.
They are,
from those two Maguire movies.
Clearly they're enjoying themselves as well. They're like,
Melina loves it. He's getting his back on film.
Yeah.
And then the Andrew Garfield 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, they have the Lizard, he's Dr. Connors, Lou's Lizard Man, and they have Electro, really poor villain, Jamie Foxx.
I've never rated Jamie Foxx anyway. I've seen. I tell you what, I did like him in. I did like him in Django Unchained.
Good film.
Yeah, it's really good.
But the best thing about that film is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Steals the show. What ludicrous villain.
But quickly run down then what you like maybe three or four things that you really enjoyed about Spider-Man.
I really enjoyed. For one, I enjoyed seeing Andrew Garfield again because I feel like he needed the redemption because his films are not very well received. I didn't hate him personally. I don't get, but also I'm not like it's not great. They clearly did those because Sony wanted to keep their hands on the rights because they'd have to give them back to get Marvel. This step parent has got to give it back to its actual parents after a while. You know what I mean? And they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that, so they made the Amazing Spider-Man duology. It's not trilogy. They didn't get 3.
No, not surprised.
But it was nice seeing him again. And clearly, because that actor is enjoying himself, he wants to play Spider-Man.
In interviews he subsequently gave, he said, I really enjoyed myself and I'd do it again.
I like all three of them at slightly different points in their life. Tobey Maguire is much older, and he's playing the part. Yeah, I did settle down with MJ, you know what I mean? Got married. I do have quite a good life, and that's
they do in the comics that happens.
Yeah, but it's so nice to see Peter Parker, who's always in. He's a good-hearted soul, but he's always got to be in some interminable angst. Some terrible thing has to always happen to him, and it's refreshing to. It's almost like he's there to say to. It gets better. It honestly gets better. Yeah. And Andrew Garfield, he's there. He's a lot more hurt by his time because obviously Gwen Stacy died, and he's still hurt by that. But what I like is totally different from Tobey Maguire, and that he's a bit of a lovey-dovey softy. You know what I mean? He's like, "Oh, I love you too," and they hug, and it's cute.
And do you know what the interesting thing for me is knowing my knowledge of Spider-Man comic lore.
Which would be much more than mine. Like, I don't really know any.
Obviously, I read comics, and I can't put Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in any iteration of it.
I see what you mean.
It's a very individual.
And I kind of like that. What best thing about his films anyway? Emma Stone also gives a really good. Yeah, he does play a bit cocky, and I like him. Yeah. I like Andrew Garfield. I didn't like. Why have you bothered with Jamie Foxx? He can't carry it as your main antagonist. Can't carry it.
Sandman's in it as well for
some reason.
Yeah.
For absolutely no reason at all. It just I'm here. I want to go home. No, I don't.
So, what else did you like about it? Because we know Jamie Foxx has ruined it for you, but go on.
Yeah. So I did like the little plot that they told, and I thought the ending was interesting of that Peter is now just totally unknown to everyone, and that for someone who's used so in his head as Peter Parker in every iteration, that's a good place to leave him in terms of where you could bounce off from that, because he's literally got no one. There's no way back for him. There's no way home.
Yeah.
You know
well, that's it. There you go.
It's narratively quite fulfilling. It's like Spider-Man No Way Home. Why have they called it that? Because of that.
Yeah.
Takes you on a little journey.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
It's cohesive. It's a cohesive narrative, and it might not have been when all the film really is like, oh, you know, all them Sony ones, they also exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think.
And
go on.
What I find fascinating about it is more the stuff going behind the scenes. Why has Marvel made this film, and why is Sony letting them make this film, and who's paying for what? And that's sort of more interesting than the actual film.
Yeah, the business
and
part of it.
That's the thing. I texted you right after. Really enjoyed it. Really good.
Yeah.
Does it hold up to scrutiny? When I've thought about it, because people are talking about this film as if it's the best film.
It's done mega business.
It's done mega
business
ever. Yeah, mega business.
Crazy.
So this is a hit. This is a blockbuster, a winter blockbuster. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So big hit. So I don't think it's that. I enjoyed myself, but I don't think it's that. If you know what I mean.
Right.
I think it's a good film, but I don't think it's like, because the runabout it like, could this be the first Marvel film that wins an Oscar, like Best Picture? No, it's not going to be. And if it does, it's a travesty. Frankly, it does not deserve that.
Happen. So.
No, but they're talking about that. And the one hilarious point, it's not going to be in the BAFTAs, the British version, because Sony didn't put it on the BAFTA thing that they were supposed to in time. And I can imagine Disney would get this.
Ballot.
Yeah. They didn't put it on the ballot in time. They didn't register it. And I can imagine fucking people at Marvel are going to be like, you fucking morons! Fucking morons! Do you know what I mean? They're going to be so fuming, and Sony executives are like, we're really sorry. Fucking Bob Iger, king of Disney, he's going round and he'll be going round with his fucking mouse army. Do you know what I mean? They'll be fuming at them.
I mean, right.
You have many more thoughts, negative thoughts. I was happy with the film, but I can see it's.
Right, so my thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home. As soon as the film finished, I was already thinking about what I didn't like about it. Now, I'm not saying that it's an alright film. Is it as good as the previous two? No. Is there a couple of things that I have major issues with? Yeah. In terms of the way they introduced the previous Spider-Man. Dog shit. Absolute dog shit.
I can see what you mean, where he does wax on, wax off in air.
Oh, and there's are you Spider-Man?
Doesn't he? And there's the Spider-Man.
Absolute garbage.
And you're like, oh.
Absolute garbage.
No build up to this at all.
None at all. There was no. It was just.
You wanted a bit of fanfare, did you? You wanted a bit of who's Tobey Maguire's coming now.
I said to you, hinted at this. I think the best way they could have introduced, because that Daily Bugle thing seemed to be a plot line that was just hanging about. It was just there for being there, basically, to have Jonah Jameson screaming and shouting. And I think the best way, instead of doing wax on, wax off, and he creates a portal and there's another Spider-Man and he just walks through the portal and now he's in this world like, oh, fuck off, dog shit.
I keep calling it that because that's literally what he does. He wax-ons and...
Like his fucking Doctor Strange...
Yeah, but that's what. Well, he's got his ring. That's why he can do it, and that's how they do that spell in the MCU, innit?
Yeah,
that's how Doctor Strange. Oh, speaking of spells, right? Do you know when he's doing the actual spell to go back in time, and he's creating it, and he keeps changing his mind. Oh, but I want MJ to remember I'm Spider-Man.
And he's Aunt May,
and I want Aunt May, and I want my mates. So he keeps changing it. Right? It's not very well explained in the actual narrative, why can't you just stop the spell? Why has he got to carry on with it? Right? It's never really effectively shown, because if it can break the world, like, why once he started his spell does he have to finish it or something?
Well, there you go. That's just one dog shit thing about it.
I suppose. Does he have to finish it then? Why can't he just stop the spell before he gets to the
Because then there won't be a fucking
it.
film, Matt, would
I know, but it's going to be one of those where Marvel fanboys are going to be like, well, actually, because in issue 427 of Doctor Strange, and you're like, oh, calm down, boys, we're on about the film, calm down, calm it down.
But another thing that really, really annoyed me about is the villains, right? So it tries to underpin an emotional side to Doc Ock, and it tries to quickly establish that the Green Goblin has this evil side, but then he doesn't get evil until the very end, and that's fucking mishandled.
For a start,
and then the other was Sandman. What the fuck's he doing in it? The fucking lizard. What's he doing? He has about 4 lines. And then Electro, completely different character than he was in the others, completely new suit and all.
No,
that.
I know, but they wanted to fix him because everyone hated that, justifiably so, because he looked like shit.
And that redemption, he always a bit. The baddies have got redemption. Oh fuck.
Right.
So in a nutshell, mate, it was alright, but I didn't enjoy it, and I've got issues with that film.
I think the only reason that it doesn't work, right? The redemption arc for the villains would have worked if there weren't so fucking many of them. Why have you given us basically all the villains? Why? The ones that people care about are the Green Goblin and Doc Ock. Yeah. They're the ones that people are here for. But I understand you've got to have one of Garfield's.
Yeah, well, is it?
So I suppose it'd have to be.
Are in there.
I suppose it'd have to be Electro. It'd have to be.
So
the reason is because there's so many of them, they can't focus on any of them. So that's why Osborn's. What's his face? Green Goblin. That's why his don't work. That's why it's choppy, because they haven't focused on it. Do have one from Raimi's films, have one from the Andrew Garfield things, and introduce a new one, and one each, and do a redemption arc for each of them, or only one of them. If there's one of them you could do a redemption arc, it's Doc Ock, fine. That's the best one out of each of those redemption arcs that they do anyway. So just do that instead of doing one for all of them.
Do you know what? My favourite bit of this film was, you know, when you see like in the sky when it's the dimensions are like the multiverses are ripping through to this world. Did you notice that it was showing silhouettes of all the Spider-Man villains? It's shown Rhino, it's shown Scorpion, it's shown like loads of villains, and I was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah,
because of the comic and like.
Oh yeah, like that's how you do referencing properly. That's how you do an Easter egg.
But anything else, they can fuck off.
So you really didn't like it at all?
Not really. I mean, no.
You weren't even just on a base.
Meh. So Matt, so I'll tell you what. Let's give it a rating then.
Okay. I did enjoy myself, Ed, so I would probably give it a 6.
I would.
You'd say a 6?
A 6, yeah.
I was happy with it. I think people need to calm down talking about it being one of the best Spider-Man ever.
Fuck off.
It's not really the best. It's just. Do you remember? And yeah, I do remember. Yeah. Great, but
6.
6.
Let's give it a 6 and move on.
Yeah.
Next film we think we're going to be discussing is a film called June.
Yeah, I've many thoughts on June.
So June is like a sci-fi classic book by Frank Herbert, is it?
I believe so.
And it's regarded as like a masterpiece in terms of sci-fi writing and world building and stuff like that.
It's right up there.
So they've tried to make films in the past by Alejandro Jodorowsky, which is a famous Spanish director. His films are very trippy, very 60s vibe. And he wanted Orson Welles to be in it, and that fell through. He wanted Salvador Dali to be in it as well, and that fell through. And then, weirdly enough, they did make a film in the 80s, and it was directed by David Lynch. who's obviously famous for Twin Peaks, which is a crazy fucking... I'm a big fan of it anyway. So David Lynch is a very unique auteur director. He normally writes the stuff he directs. But this was a studio of hire, Dino De Laurentiis, which is a famous production company in the 80s. Made a lot of like big hits and a lot of famous films.
It's a weird film.
Weird film. It is really weird.
But here's the thing, Dune, right, for a start, I don't think either of us have read the novel that it comes from.
No.
But I do know it is notoriously difficult to adapt. In this sense. Does it as a story lend itself to a visual medium? It does.
Who
does
knows?
It? But
I don't know.
But I don't know, because I haven't read it. But it must be hard if so many. Well, if there's been 3 attempts, well, that's the thing. Do you think as a film, do you think Dune?
Well, the problem is, it's like a huge book, isn't it? And again, like you know, if you're talking about like we've mentioned
apparently,
before,
my mate told me it's just first third at book, I suppose, or first.
Yeah. And again, you know, going back to that, it's what, you know, you've got a screenplay, and in reality, you've got 120 pages, i.e., 120 minutes to tell, you know, a book that's vast. And so, anyway, I presume, like you say, from what I've read online, like you've read, that it's notoriously difficult to adapt that story into a coherent film. But they've tried it once, and then they've done it again now, and that, like. I watched it first. I watched it before you, and I knew what your thoughts was going to be on it, and was I right?
You were exactly right.
100%. Go on, then you give me your...
I know. I'm trying to find word for a sec. It was fine. We're looking for a more eloquent word than fine. It was fine visually. For a start, visually, it's quite beautiful. It's beautiful.
I said that to you straight away. I was like, it's cinematic.
Yes, it's cinematic, and it's competent, and it's got.
Well, it is well directed.
It has a visual style. It has a visual style, all of it. So
yeah.
I've got to give it that. And
I agree.
I'll also say, I can't think of a single person in the cast who I was like ropey. I know you did, because you told me who, but it didn't bother me. His mum, you didn't like his mum. It just didn't bother me, so I can't pick that up. I can see what you're saying with her. She's a bit kooky,
hysterical.
Yeah, but I think she's supposed to be. That's why I'm like
nervous. I don't like that.
I don't know,
nervousy energy character.
But what's his name? Eli. What's his name? Is his name?
Who?
The main
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong.
That's him. Some young lad.
I forgot. I think he's quite good in it. He's quite good. Yeah, it's fine.
Is he though?
Yeah, he's fine. He's not.
I think he's passable.
Yeah, it's all right. Fine. You say he's passable. That's basically what I'm saying. Is he gets away with it, so it's fine. Like
he is. I agree.
But that's the thing. I don't have any standouts where I'm like, what a good performance.
This is what I'm saying. No, this is what I'm saying.
And I just feel like what I don't like about it is actually what they're trying to do, and I think it's. I'm gonna sound really douchey now, but I think it's the ethos of the film in terms of what they thought this film were doing, and I think it's exactly what's wrong with franchise building films, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it one of the new big sci-fi.
Well, again, we knew there was going to be a two-parter before the first one came out.
Two-parter, but they're probably wanting to have ancillary stuff.
Well, there is other books
that
in
as
that
well,
universe.
exactly. So, as a start, I think it's a fundamentally wrong-headed way of approaching that. I thought this film was quite boring and not a lot happens until the end.
This is, again, that was my second point.
That's fine. And I think a lot of people will go, mostly fans.
2.5 hours of it.
Yeah, but most people will think that's a bit boring. I think they've made a film that fans of this story, which is a very well regarded story, will absolutely love. They'll love it. They'll think it's the best thing. But is that going to get bums in seats for the second one? I don't think it will.
Well, do you know
for
what it lacks? it lacks a bit of fun and adventure. I'm not saying every sci-fi film has some fun, but do you know what I mean in terms of where's it's just people. So the plot of the story is there's these baddies, and they run this world that's got this spice, like these spice.
It's basically the only thing that
which
can
enables
facilitate
space travel.
interstellar travel.
So for some reason they give it up to this like a royal family basically, and all this group of like the baddies, shall we say, for want of better words, are running this planet, the only planet in the
rival
universe.
noble house.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, true. And then they say, well, you can to the good guys, you can be the custodian now, but when they fuck off, then they attack them because they want to kill them. So it's a ruse.
It's political plot stuff. It's world building. Is what this film is. I don't think they came into this film wanting to tell a good story. They wanted to build a world, and I think that's a fundamentally wrong-headed way of getting a trilogy or a franchise that'll stick. Because do you know what? Say to pick the big sci-fi one, Star Wars did. They made one good one, and then they made the rest. They made one good, exciting film that stands on its own, and they spun off from that. And I think that this is a film of world building. Like, is he going to be the special, what's he called, the Kizak Hazarak or something like that, the magic thing? Is he that? I think that's just coming soon to a Cineplex near you. Like, that's what that is. It's like, find out next time. And it's just like, I don't want a film of just backstory, of world building. Make one good film and then spin off from there. See what you can get. And I think that the approach that they've taken is, let's make sure to put this plot thread here so we can spin off on that.
Because we're going to pick it up later. I
want
to know now!
Because I'm going to pick it up later. Okay, but not everything can be left on a dangling edge. Finish some plot threads.
Yeah, and they didn't.
And they didn't finish anything.
None.
Anything.
Anything
that was set up was not concluded by the end of the film.
Do you know what? Right, the word that I was going around my mind in the last 5 minutes since we've been talking about this film is it's a bit empty. Do you know what I mean?
I thought it's a very beautiful empty vessel of the film.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure that for fans of Dune, this was a magnificent representation of the first bit. Bit of the thing that and I bet you the next one will be brilliant. That's what they'll be thinking. But I don't think that's going to draw audiences. What the audiences?
That again, make the first one interesting.
Make the first one interesting, and I'm afraid sometimes you've got to lighten the tone for those things and make it a little bit exciting. Because I tell you what, normal not fucking nerds have a job, have a family, have a stuff where this is not their primary interest. They're gonna want a little bit more. Oh, it's a sci-fi film, so what they're immediately thinking is Star Trek, Star Wars, and they go in and it just this strange, rather contemplative, rather plodding narrative, and they're just going to be bored. They're not going to come back, and you're not going to get the next film. You're never going to get your Empire Strikes Back if you don't make it the first one accessible. And then
find the audience,
and the audience will come back for your rich world building. Great, and I know they're adapting a novel that I'm sure the story is exactly like that. I don't know.
I don't.
But if it is like that, then maybe this story was not ideal for adaptation. Maybe that this franchise, while beautiful looking on screen, is not going to get people in seats to watch the next one. And I know it did well. But is it gonna do well for part 2?
Let's see.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Let's see next year, 2023. It is.
Well, yeah, and I guess it might do, but
the thing is, I think I got the impression because the director Denis Villeneuve.
I'm not sure. I've forgotten.
And he directed a film called Prisoners, which is really good film. About this guy that kidnaps 2 little girls and a detective, and one of the girls' dads goes on the hunt for him. Basically, that's just one of the films he's directed, and he's very visual. You know, he's a very competent director. And I come out of this film thinking I get the impression that he's made a version of the book that works for him personally.
I'm sure he did. Actually.
And I think maybe that is where the film has always been the main focus for the director, and not in terms of how can he introduce new things. How can it, again, as I don't know the book, but that's the impression
in a weird way. I think this is one of a rare exception of films where I think it could have done with a little bit more studio interference with him, of just going, why have you left that plot thread there? What's that? Why is that? What the fuck's a Kizak Hazarak? Like what? Yeah. Why are they attacking them?
Yeah.
And I get most audiences, I think, will understand generally what's going on because people aren't thick.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated.
It's not a complicated film to watch. It's just not got much going on.
I don't think it's got. It's a beautiful shell. It's a beautiful shell, and they're like, let's build this beautiful shell that we can fill with our rich world building. Okay, what's the point? Where's the chase, and how do I cut to it? Yeah. Because do I need to have seen this film in order to have an enjoyment for the second film? Of course you do, but what about people? What about people who aren't massive nerdy fanboys about
never
things?
Even heard of it.
What about them? Yeah. And I think the reason that stuff can become popular is you've got to show the appeal to people who aren't.
I think you're right. Yeah,
people who aren't inculcated into this great story, which I'm sure is banging. And what I like to compare it to, if this is at the beginning of a long-running franchise of what you want it to be, and you've got a long story to adapt, its obvious competitor is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship at Ring, because it's got exactly the same task that this film has got. How do you translate the first part of the story to get people to want to see the whole thing? And I think Lord of the Rings does it magnificently by clever world building, and it cuts out from the source material, which I'm much more familiar with, the Fellowship of the Ring, the book. It cuts out unnecessary things. There's a character in the books in Fellowship at Ring that has great affection, is loved by people like Lord of the Rings. It's called Tom Bombadil.
Yeah. Right? I knew that's what they took out of the book.
Right. And they cut it. And do you know what? I always think they were right to cut it, because in the narrative it's downtime in a story that film doesn't need. It hasn't got that kind of time to waste. Right,
it gets on the path quicker than you're on the path.
Tom Bombadil is a very satisfying plot cul-de-sac that Tolkien went into because he was so enamoured of the character that he created, right? And I think that this film has looked at the story and thought, what can we 100% keep rather than what is not necessary in this story? That's what I think they've done with Dune.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying, mate.
And I think that's fundamentally the wrong-headed way of going about it. Yeah. His thoughts should have been how do I show this book? It should have been, how do I adapt this book? And
I think for me, what Dune is it's not a. For me, it's not a great film, and that's not because it's sci-fi, but just because I've got issues with the pacing and the plot and the story. But I think there is definitely room for adult storytelling in a sci-fi genre. Right?
Absolutely,
100% there is. But I think they're trying to kickstart that with this, and I think it misses that mark for me. So I'm going to give it a quick rating.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it, purely because I think it's a very good looking film, and I like the director. I'm going to give it a 7. Just because of that. And I like that, but everything else is a fucking 4.
I'll meet you at 7 for the simple fact I can see what they're trying to do. I'm just not sure this is the strategy of how you do it.
It's not the film, mate. This isn't the film to launch that into.
That's not the It's not the film. Beautiful.
It is a beautiful film.
It's not the thing that's going to get bums in seats for the next one. I don't think
it's not going to kickstart this.
I don't know, do the cinematic universe.
Yeah, nah, fuck that. So anyway, so we've rated Dune a 7 just because it's a pretty film.
I'll
story-wise,
go with
garbage.
7.
Number 4, I'm giving it 4 for the story. But 7 just because it's pretty and I like the director. Yeah. Next film, what should we discuss now, Mark?
Well, he's sort of linking in to the Spider-Man thing, and I suppose it's again what's rapidly becoming a theme of tonight's talk, like franchisey stuff. Like,
well, that's the world we're living in. That's the cinema world.
Exactly. So I think we'll talk about Eternals now. I'll put it right out there. I haven't watched it yet, but I know you've got a lot of thoughts, and I have thoughts about what I'm thinking about it going in.
Right, so I'm about. I mean, it's on for 2 hours 40. So that's a kicker. That's James Bond territory.
That's a long film.
That's what I mean. It is a long film, but now again we've mentioned it before on the show, listeners, where films seem to be getting longer.
They do,
which is fine.
I think we need more.
I need a 2-hour film, please.
Yeah,
Come on.
2 hours.
Bang, bang, bang. Quick. You've got 3 acts. Bang, bang, bang. 2 hours. I'm done. I've talked everything I want to know.
How much time, realistically, Marvel in this case, do you think normal people have to devote to these, especially something that you're not really that interested? Because going there, I am interested in the sense of. There's historical themes, there's themes of mythology and religion.
Because heavy leans on that.
Heavily. So it's everything that I should like. Listeners, it's everything that if you saw a breakdown of the things that I like, it's there. It's got history themes, it's got mythology themes, it's got the sort of dynamic that I should like. It's an ensemble cast, clearly going to be an assembled.
There's 10 of them altogether, mate. 10 Eternals.
But I'm just so completely about it.
Like I said, the film is 2 hours 40 minutes long, and I'm about an hour and 20 minutes into it, right? And my mind's made up already.
Is it?
My mind's made up already, anyway, and I can see. I've got a theory about, because again I don't know, but I've got a theory about like where the baddies come from, and because it kind of starts in. There's like a scroll at the beginning, mate. It says like, in the beginning this happened, and then this God created Earth, and then created these baddies, and why? Why did you? First of all, why did you create the bad guys? The guy that created the good created the bad guys as well. Fuck off. No.
Maybe it'll tell you in the rest of the film.
Fuck off. Yeah, and I can see. I've got a theory of why you did it, and anyway. So the plot line is these 7,000 years ago, these group of 10 Eternals were created to protect Earth and nurture civilization on Earth throughout the ages. So not interfere.
Why haven't they been involved?
Because there's the person who's like called a Celestial, which is like create universes in space.
I guess
they told them you can defend the humans, but don't interfere.
Okay, like Jane Goodall and the chimps. Right.
So that's the plot. So this being called the Celestial creates these 10 Eternals to protect Earth, and again and what they do is, which is a weird thing, there's like a character who's like not a scientist, but he's an inventor basically. And they're there, and it's like 500 BC, and he goes, "Oh, look at this!" And he's like creating an engine, and he's like, "It's called the steam engine," and it'll help him. And they're like, "Oh no, you can't give him that yet. This is that they're going too far too quick."
Okay.
Think of something else, and he goes, "A plough."
We've jumped right to
plough.
Steam engine.
I'm not even joking.
You haven't taught them plough.
Plough? He went from steam engine all the way down to a plough.
Right. No, but you think
how can we help them evolve with civilization? Let's give them an engine. No, we'll give them a plough.
No. Why haven't they already given him the plough? That's what I mean. Right.
Mark, this is a scene in the film.
But why would you start with? Oh yeah, they're totally not. They're not ready for a plough yet. But I'll make him a steam engine. Just. And
it's like a scene, like in Iron Man, where he's got his computer in him and he's just moving shit in midair. It's like that, and he just pulls apart, and he's like the leader of him goes, "Oh, what you designing for him today?" And he goes, "Steam engine." And they're like, "Oh no, that is too far advanced at this stage." Plough. Okay, all right, okay.
But it's like, see, the reason I'm put off by watching it is I've done some research, and I found out like stepping into the murky waters of whatever Marvel thing. The Eternals seems like a really weird thing to, from what I've very briefly researched, it seems like a weird thing to want to adapt, because it's like we're well into Marvel's B and C category. You know what I mean? Do it. And again, does anyone? Are you bothered?
No.
Are you bothered?
I'm not.
I'm not bothered.
I'm not.
Properly not bothered.
I'm not at all.
And that's the thing. What I think's interesting about this film is, when are we going to get bored of it, society? When are we bored of it? I'm bored of it. You're bored of it. I know loads of people who are bored of it.
This film is a whole lot of nothing. It's a lot of wide shots and all of them stood next to each other in a row. There's a lot of fucking hero shots, and it's a lot of...
But here's the thing,
wide-angle people just staring at each other, and fair enough, there's a little bit of action with the bad guys, but they've all got, basically, the Eternals have all got powers. Mm-hmm. So one of them is like, it's a bit like Doctor Strange's thing, and they've all got that kind of thing. You know, the circles and it looks like a design and shit.
Yeah.
One of them can get these things like and punch really hard. One of them can go invisible. Do you know what I mean? They're all that kind. One of them can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes. He's like one of the main ones, and like the main girl who's in it, she can turn any matter into something else. Basically.
Right. Okay.
She can turn that into like roses, basically.
I mean, that's perfectly fine.
Well, that's just a few of them, and the others I'm just not interested. It's boring.
But it's shite. I find the casting baffling. Again, without watching it, this cast, right?
You're trying to be diverse.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can be diverse, but none of them look like they're not phoning it in.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
right. Your main bloke's that Richard Madden, and Rob out at Game of Thrones, right? I'm not sure he can carry your male lead in a film. No. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't think he can carry that. He's in it with Kit Harington, who also in Game of Thrones plays his brother in Game of Thrones. But the thing is about Kit Harington, all right, he was good in Game of Thrones, but as an actor on screen, he possesses literally zero screen presence.
And he's only been in it 20 minutes so
I'm
far.
like,
because he plays the girl that he's dating. Because obviously, it keeps going back in time to show you the Eternals. They're helping civilization, but then every time, each sequence that it goes back to, whether it'll be 4000 BC, or do you know what I mean? It shows you like Babylon, and it shows you the Romans and stuff, but each fucking segment where it shows them helping them, they're going, yeah, we're all having a party, we're having a good time, and then it kicks off with the humans, and then they go, don't interfere, because it's one of them that can control the mind, and you see him do it a couple of times to stop him, and she's like, the main fucking woman, Salma Hayek, she's like, oh no, we've got to let them make their own path. Every time, mate, that's repetitive, and I'm an hour and 20 in it, mate, and it's done that about 5 times already, and I'm like, oh no, please. And I've got another fucking hour and 20 minutes left.
But, right, is it... That's more about the cast. Selma Hayek. She's in it about 20 minutes. She looks like she's there to collect a paycheck. And Angelina Jolie.
Mate, Angelina Jolie is in it for about 10 minutes so far. And she's just like, how much you pay, mate? I'll do whatever you fucking want.
They just don't look... These actors don't look... Like, if you look at earlier Marvel... Let's look at earlier Marvel. In fact, let's not look at earlier Marvel. Let's look at the other Marvel film that we've just fucking reviewed. All those actors look like they want to be there, and they're trying.
Yeah. Tom Holland's loving it.
Tom Holland's loving it. Life. Andrew Garfield's basically creaming his Spidey drawers, being back as Spider-Man, given another chance. Tobey Maguire's quite clearly there just to accept this lap of honour that this film is. Like, well done, you all love me. Yeah. You know what I mean? The ones who are here for... I'm here because I did the better ones. Andrew Garfield's like, I'm here because of that me. Like, you know what I mean? It's fun, and for all of the media that I've seen of it, again, I haven't seen the film, but for all the media I've seen on it, none of them look like they want to be there.
Mate, again, I'm halfway through it, and already I'm like, I've sussed the story out, I've seen all I need to see. Kicker.
This is more than a moderate success for Eternals, right? Which made me immediately think, why is society not bored of it. You've lost me. You've lost me.
Even
world.
the trailer, mate. The trailer.
Why are we not?
There's nothing in that trailer.
Why are we not?
The story?
Why are we not bored of superhero films? I know I've just waxed somewhat lyrical about Spider-Man. I did enjoy it.
Yeah. I know you did.
But
I think in hindsight, if you watch it again, you pick.
Yeah. But this, are we not bored of superheroes? Do we not just want a year where we maybe only get one?
Do you know what it is, mate? I think they've told the best stories they're going to tell.
And they've used them all. You've used literally everybody.
The Avengers,
anyone gives a shit.
You've done it now.
You've done it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through every single one of Marvel's back catalogue. I can't have this be the cultural zeitgeist for another 5 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, give it a rest.
Give it a rest, move on. It's like we're on about this today, and they're making a TV show about someone called Moon Knight, and
Marvel's Batman, basically.
We've got Batman. We've got Batman. We call him Batman. I know you don't make it, but let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. I don't need.
That's all
I don't
is,
need Marvel's
Batman.
off-brand Batman. Fuck.
Oh. Do you know what I did like? Nothing.
You didn't like it? Nothing. Right.
So far, I'm just going to watch it.
Right.
Just I've seen it.
I'm not going to give it a rating because I'm
not really, but so far not great.
Yeah. So
not great.
So I'll watch it, listeners.
And I've seen Shang-Chi as well, and that is not great, and it's a bit better than this because it's a bit fun. Shang-Chi tries to be fun. And there's a couple of I like that character, but it's not a great film. But this, and now I'm halfway through it, and I'm going, not brilliant.
Yeah. So I mean, superhero.
So far, 5 out of 10 because it's just shy.
I'm not going to even. I'm not giving this. It's not fair. But I'm not going into it terribly enthusiastic.
Mate, I know what you're going to say. You're going to just go, it's not great, is it, Chris? On any.
But here's the thing, and it's like, why are we not bored of it when we could have got a perfect visual representation of why it's just superhero films are turning into shit? And you watched the sequel to Venom, did you not?
Listen, the sequel, I thought, when I watched Venom, the original one, I don't know why it gets the love and why it made so much money, because it's fucking terrible.
Right, I have
but
seen the first film.
On this one, I watched the first 20 minutes and it's fucking worse, and I switched off, it's fucking worse. Anyone can turn around and say they're good films. You're fucking mental.
See, this is the thing. Venom has been a massive hit for Sony. Massive hit for Sony. I cannot.
I don't get it.
Right. Utterly forgettable plot, bafflingly edited, tonally random.
Fucking weird.
Like me, I say, like a turd.
Yeah, no.
In the wind.
Oh,
Why is that line? Why is that line? Right, it's all over the internet where he's talking to some fucking goon. I don't know who, don't care. And he goes, because this is first Venom, and he goes, like a turd in the wind. And you're like, how did that line, ludicrous line, what's the tone, get past the editors?
Mate,
and I thought that just encapsulated the whole film. And so it baffled me that it made the money that it made. And it made it.
I'm puzzled.
In China, I've found out, essentially because
show me,
because they marketed it like a fun, spoofy, weird, almost cartoonishly strange film. That's how they marketed it in Asia.
Weird film.
It were marketed over here like gritty superhero film.
Yeah.
Opposite over there. Fun, spoofy, almost Deadpool-y kind of.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I know. Well, all right. It's
in that
shit
sphere.
Deadpool. It's shit Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Now, do you remember Deadpool? Yeah, good film. That. Do you want a shitter version? Absolutely not, Sony. Don't make that. Don't. Oh, you made it.
Oh, it's it. Never mind.
You've made it.
You made how much?
No one's gonna go watch that. How much money? So much money that this absolute detestable piece of interstellar spunk, right, has got another one, and it's made gangbusters.
It's
and
worse,
I don't want.
It's worse.
I don't want to watch
20 minutes
it.
and I've gone, this is shit. I can't watch it. I had to switch it off 20 minutes in. I thought, I can't watch it. I really can't because it's.
I don't
bad.
understand.
It's
I don't understand the tone.
That bad.
But they're bound to make another one because it's making money, right? If you hear people say it's a shit film, right, and don't go and watch it because it's a shit film. Because it just gives the studios the wrong idea. Stop making it. Stop making it. And they won't because you're all going because let's see it be a laugh. This a shit film. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You're hurting the studios. You're hurting them. Leave Sony alone. You don't. It's almost like we're battering this massive company. Because just why are you making it?
Please don't watch it, mate. You're not missing anything.
I'm not going to watch the second one.
And do you know what, another shit film I watched recently? The fucking Matrix.
Oh, right.
Oh, mate, it's poor.
Again. I haven't watched it, but I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it.
Matrix Resurrections, it's garbage.
Do you know why I'm not watching it?
Garbage.
Because I don't... For one...
Do you know... Let me tell you the plot.
Matrix... Well,
first
in a minute,
Matrix, banging.
First Matrix, banging. Second film, shit. Third film, shit.
Yeah.
They had one good one.
Yeah.
They had one good one, right?
One.
But it finished as well. It finished shit, right? For a start. It finished shit.
Yeah, shit.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
They had one good film. And this, essentially, they've turned up with a fucking shit ton of money... the Wachowskis have begged for a shit ton of money, and they're back to dump trucks worth of money. Come on, boop, 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 into Lana Wachowski's fucking back garden. Make another Matrix film.
Go on.
Make another Matrix film. Why?
Right. So quickly, so quickly, mate. Let me run down the plot. Right. So the actual plot line of the story is. I'm going to spoil it here. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not watching it anyway.
So Neo, right? He didn't die. Which we all know that was the fucking plot because he's back. And him and Trinity are this synergy thing together which make two parts more... Do you know what I mean? The whole is better than the two individual parts, mate. I know... No, listen, let me just quickly go on.
I've rolled my eyes very
It's really shit, Mark. So what they did is the Matrix found Neo, right, and Trinity, and then hid him, and then changed the appearance in the Matrix. So even though we're seeing Neo and we're seeing Trinity, when they look in a mirror, it's like Quantum Leap where they look in a mirror and they look like different people. So he's not Thomas Anderson, even though he is, but the Matrix has given a new identity, so the people that are out the Matrix can't find him. But they find him. Oh, mate, shit. It's fucking shit. And that's it, Mark. That's all I want to say.
Listen, listeners, we'll blow your illusions now if you still had these. The second two Matrix films are shit, right? They're dog shit, wank, incoherent. The Wachowskis had one film, and they only wanted to make... They only thought they were going to make one film, and they made a fantastic
film, The Matrix,
piece of cinema.
It's a great
Anyone
film.
who says first Matrix ain't good, or I didn't like it, well, you're lying. You're just being a contrary Mary.
Yeah, because it's great.
Because everybody likes first Matrix.
It's a 9 out of 10 film, that, mate.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Second film's 4 out of 10. Third film, yeah.
They're one in the same. It's shit.
It's shit. I forget what happens in what order. They're so shit and incoherent.
Matrix.
And so
Revolutions.
Why? I don't know. That's the thing. Carrying on with the shit naming
Yeah.
What is this? Resurgence. Resurrections. Yeah. Oh, drop the Christ allegory! Jesus fucking Christ!
But then Neo comes back to save them all again, basically.
Of course he does, because he's a Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, mate, it is terrible. It's terrible.
He's
crap.
just there, punk on the nose.
Yeah.
Religion is a weird culty control thing, innit? I tell you what. I tell you what I don't like about... Well, I do like it about The Matrix. The first film is that it has a very... Its message is fuck the system.
Yeah.
And then
don't let it control you, blah, blah, blah.
And it's just...
And then
are they just doing that again? What's the message? How is it developed? Because the original ones were all just fuck the system and
this was all like trying to... Are we saying
because
something?
even though I respect and love the first Matrix.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great film.
I will say it's done more damage to a reasonable understanding of political awareness. I would say the Matrix than anything else. It just the political illiteracy of this generation, I think it's almost like the Matrix encapsulated. Just fuck the system. Let's not think about it at all.
That,
it's just.
I mean, I remember it. I remember coming out.
Right.
Anyway, great film.
And so, how is it developed then? And it don't look like it has.
It's not. It's garbage, mate. But
yeah,
let's talk about, before we finish for this episode, a film that I did see recently and I fucking loved.
And it's no surprise you loved it either.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Again, I have not seen it.
Well, I've put it on a USB stick for you, Mark, so
here's
you will be watching it.
Here's my thought. And I have said this to you before. What worries me about it, because it does look good. I like cult trailers and everything.
Okay.
But is it just gonna be like,
watch it,
so heavy in nostalgia that it's just constantly going, hey, do you remember this from the Ghostbusters?
It is thick on nostalgia.
And where I'm going to be like, you're right, film, I should have just watched Ghostbusters. That's my worry about it.
I'd understand, but I think for me, literally there's 2 or 3 moments in the film where I went to the cinema to see it, and I was a bit like, hair standing up. Because I'm nostalgia about Ghostbusters as a franchise, and obviously you know, the first one is my favourite film. But very, very heavy on nostalgia, and I know that's one of the massive complaints it's been getting. But I kind of I think that was in its benefit and not its. Do you know what I mean? It didn't take it, for me. It didn't take it away. Again, maybe that's nostalgia, but I think it's a really fun. Let's kickstart the franchise. Let's see if we can do something else with it.
Yeah.
But tie everything back to the original. Again, heavy nostalgia, 100%. But I loved it.
So, just to clarify, it's swerving the 2016.
Swerves the girls.
It's got no to do.
No,
no.
It's setting in the universe.
They're not going to do a fucking Ghostbusters cinematic universe.
No.
Okay.
No.
You never know nowadays. You never know.
No, but I won't spoil anything for people that have seen it. But it literally, does it have all the old characters in it? Yes, it does. Does it leave it open at the end to open the story like this possible? It could carry on. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I like that about it.
Yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed it. I'd give it 8 out of 10.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I kind of.
It's a good film.
Yeah.
It's a fun, good film. It's just a fun film. Is it great and amazing? It's not amazing, but the things that I like about it, I really, really like about it.
Yeah.
And it's Ghostbusters, and it's the best Ghostbusters we've got, the new Ghostbusters. So I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
And even I'll take the female one. Because it's alright.
It's alright. Listen, people treat that film as if like it's come from the very bowels of Satan.
But it's not. It's not. I've seen worse.
But I've seen worse.
But it's not a Ghostbusters film. It's just a female.
Well, I guess it is. Yeah. But, well. Okay, fine. It didn't offend me.
No, it didn't offend me. And there's a few funny bits in it. And Melissa McCarthy's always...
She's funny,
yeah.
They're quite funny actresses, to be honest. And they were sort of done a disservice.
Kirsten Wiig as well, she's funnier.
They sort of did a disservice to the girls in writing a bit of a boring screenplay.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
They forget, okay, it's not that funny, but they haven't got a lot to work with dialogue-wise.
I agree.
Like, so just...
But this new one, mate, this Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it when you watch it.
Yeah, I've definitely 100% will watch it.
I think that kind of wraps up this episode, mate.
Well, yeah, pretty much. It's just that basically these were the films that we have thoughts on.
Yeah, the recent films we've watched.
I think to be honest, we've got
James Bond, that was pretty good, but absolute weak villain and half an hour too long.
Half an hour too long. Well, it's one of the other great problems we spoke about in it.
Yeah.
Films they're a bit too long.
Again.
A bit too long nowadays.
Yeah. So, Matt, I think that wraps this episode up.
Yeah, I think so.
So, guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. We love the support. Keep it coming. Always. Again, get us out there. If you share us or, we have got an email. We didn't mention that at the top of the shop. And that is thevaultofcult@gmail.com. And what is it, Mark?
thevaultofcult@gmail.com.
That's the one. So, get in contact, guys. Give us your thoughts, your feelings. If you get any suggestions for films you'd like us to do in season 2, get in contact. And you know where we work anyway, so...
Yeah, and, next week we'll be back to our normal schedule.
Normal schedule will resume, where we will be back with a bang.
Yeah, we'll be doing our film. Join us then.
Please do join us, guys. So, thanks very much. Take care and see you down the road.
Bye.